go ahead and get into our first story. So everybody knows, it's no secret here that I'm a fan of Jimmy Dore. I'm a fan of his show, just a fan of his work overall. And he's always been an anti-imperialist voice, which is why I've always found it weird that, well, back in the day, I found it weird that, quote unquote leftists and who are supposed to be anti-war, they're not really anti-war though. Was shit on him all the time for his takes, whether it was on Venezuela, Syria, wherever it was. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest. This is a small critique. I've always found it like, not necessarily annoying, because I'm not one of those people that's like, you have to talk about this specific topic or I don't fuck with you, Like, I'm not that person, but I've always been like, you're able to see, but I've always sensed like a hesitance to take that step with China. But he didn't hesitate on Tucker Carlson show, like the number one news person in the country. Millions of people watch his show. Like, he didn't hesitate there. So, applaud Jimmy for this, man, because we see the China buildup. They're now trying to like push this whole balloon thing. I think I might talk about that tomorrow, if stream tomorrow. I just haven't gotten a chance to actually read through the story, but from what it looks like, they're trying to say China was spying on us with fucking balloons or some shit. It's fucking stupid. It's so stupid. But yeah. So Jimmy went on Tucker Carlson show, as I just said, and I'm going to pull the video up. Hopefully it plays. And literally kick straight facts to Tucker's face into his audience. Now, I will say, I'm not one of these people. Again, I'm able to take salient points that a person is saying and presenting and, and separate that from the fuckery that they're saying. Because I'm not going to front. I'm not a big Tucker Carlson fan. Like, I've always gave him a tip of the hat when it came to his foreign policy coverage. How, he's basically the only guy at Fox News calling out the fuckery when it comes to Ukraine, Syria. Even though within that coverage, I feel like a lot of his like overall points, like, Tucker Carlson, his recent like what he's been presenting with the string of police brutality incidents that we're experiencing now, well, that's being highlighted by the media, because this is something that is just a thing in America. Police are trash in America. But especially bringing on Jason Whitlock, like just like parading these coons around to push this like stupid ass, these dumbass narratives, anything to deflect criticism and revolt against the established orders, which the police are. The police are the branch of imperialism here at home, along with the FBI and other agencies as well. So it's very like, not even disheartening, it's very aggravating to see somebody be able to point out the not necessarily imperialism, but the hegemonic dominance the United States is trying to exert overseas, but they don't see that happening here at home. Even like, and again, I always present this as, this isn't a black or white issue. This is a this is the issue of the state, the boot of the state coming down on the people. So but again, like I said, I'm able to discern, to take the salient points a person is making and ride with that and use that as messaging. And Jimmy Dore does that so perfectly here in this video that it's just amazing. I mean, this video has 1.9 million views, guys. I want you to know that. So this is Max Blumenthal, your enemy is not that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video, because I think this is such an important message to be getting out right now.
We're the ones provoking this war, just like we provoked the war in Ukraine. We are now provoking a war with China. And who benefits? I'll tell you right now. Your enemy is not China. Your enemy is not Russia. Your enemy is the military-industrial complex, which has been fleecing this country to the tunes of hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars. How many times are we going to have a defense secretary say, "Hey, we can't account for $2 trillion in the Pentagon again"? Which has happened twice now in my lifetime. So again, people are being the war machine cannot be stopped. Who's running this country, the war machine? It certainly isn't Joe Biden making these decisions. I would like to know who is making the decisions. And I just want to remind everybody, the United States is the world terrorist. We just set the Middle East on fire in the last 20 years. And now we're doing a proxy war in Ukraine, which we provoked, NATO provoked, and it was just admitted that we provoked it by the former prime minister of Germany. And now we're trying to saber rattle with China, and they're predicting a war. Again, China's not going to invade us. China's not our enemy. We might have an economic war. That's what these are. These are economic wars. These are wars for, in Ukraine, it's about liquefied natural gas and making sure Germany and Russia never come together, because we fear Russia's natural resources and manpower, and we fear them getting together with Germany with their technology and their capital. And so that's why we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. That's why we're doing the Ukraine war. This is all about hegemony, imperialism, and economics. And if there's a Marine somewhere, it's there because they're about to steal some natural resources from another country. As everybody's screaming about what a bad guy Putin is for invading Ukraine, the United States is currently occupying a third of Syria. And which third is that? It's the third that has the oil. And how do I know we're there to steal their oil? Because the president of the United States said so.
And we're not even benefiting economically. Of course, that's the rub. Jimmy Dore, appreciate it. Thank you.
So, yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. And that last point he's referencing there, like, how do I know? So when he's talking about we're occupying a third of Syria. So I just want you guys to know. Let me see if I could pull up a map. Gosh darn it. Oh, well, I should have had this. I should have had it up. I forgot he made that point in this video. But you literally have like 2 or 3 different countries occupying Syria. You have Turkey there. You have the United States there, as he said, in the oil fields, the oil and the wheat fields. And he's referencing a while ago, there was 2 instances where Trump, when Trump was in office, where he basically said, we're there for the oil, the beautiful oil. I used to tell Obama to go in there, take the oil and leave. Like, he said that. And then there was an interview with Laura Ingraham. And I believe I covered this on the channel a while ago. There was an interview Trump did with Laura Ingraham. Yeah. But oh yeah, I'll comment on that in a minute, Chris. But there was this he did an interview. Trump did an interview with Laura Ingraham where he said the same thing. He was like, look, we're there to take the oil. That's what we're in Syria for. And she realized, like, yo, bro, you're giving the plot away. Like, we're not there to steal the oil, right? He's like, no, we're there to steal the oil. Like, he just doubled down on it, like, yeah, bitch, that's what we're there for. Let's stop pretending. That's one of the reasons why they didn't like Trump, by the way, because he didn't put a pretty face on imperialism. He was just straight up with what he was trying to do. And that's, was crazy too, because he was doing everything the military industrial complex wanted him to do. Now, there's some people that's saying he was doing that under duress, this, that, and the third. Like, in my opinion, I call bullshit on that. There's like, look, I'm gonna keep it a bean. There's always an excuse when certain people do certain things. Let's just put it that way. There's always an excuse for certain people, but others always have to be called to action for what they're doing. But regardless, Trump didn't put a pretty face on imperialism, and that's why the establishment didn't fuck with him like that. But those points that Jimmy was making, man, like, that's straight up, this is what Eisenhower? I believe it was Eisenhower, was talking about when he gave his famous military industrial complex speech. And we're living in that right now. All of our foreign policy is completely dictated by either that Mick or the fossil fuel cartels. So Jimmy making those points, again, is extremely, salient and beneficial, because most of Tucker Carlson's audience believe that China sent a weather balloon to America to spy on us. Okay. They believe that China is trying to steal data from dancing sorority chicks on TikTok. Like, they believe all this shit. And it's like, it's good that you have a voice on there. People always talk about Jimmy and other, like, leftists and everything that go on Tucker Carlson show. You guys go in there, you never push back on them, This was like Jimmy explicitly pushing back on a lot of the, bullshit that Tucker pushes about China. So there's a perfect example of that right there. Yes. Thanks, Chris. But Chris makes this point as well. Russia's going to have some tough calls to make as to who are friends, who are friends with them in the Middle East. And I see. I agree and I disagree. What you got to realize is, countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE that are, usually aligned with the United States are sick of the United States as shit, and that was kind of, accelerated with Biden in office. They really don't fuck with Biden, so um I don't think it's going to be hard to discern that, because Russia's not in this to necessarily look for friends. Russia's in this to look for business partners. The same thing with China. They just want to be able to, economically develop, to be able to go about, conducting business and trade without the fear of, being sanctioned to death. You feel me? So that's the appeal that these countries are feeling. If you look at BRICS, these countries are very, within these countries are very, different and diverse. But the main point that they're all coming together on is trade, free economic development, industrialization outside of the purview of the United States, outside of the hegemonic dominance of the United States that is waning at the fastest pace I've ever seen it happen. And another point Jimmy makes there is that, we always like right now, like Republicans, and this isn't like, a spiel about me shitting on Republicans, but are talking about not raising the debt ceiling. They're arguing about money now, basically. And it's like, when it comes to poor people, we're always arguing about money, but nobody's, arguing about the fucking war budget. The Freedom Caucus, and I applaud them for doing that. One of their concessions was, lowering the Pentagon budget. I'll believe it when I see it. You can say people. We also got to stop taking politicians for their word as well. Good that they're talking about this. They're putting it in the political lexicon. That is good. But until I see action on this from a politician, there's a difference between Jimmy Dore going on Fox News and raising an anti-war message, and a politician who has power and can do something about it. And I feel like people conflate those two things. So Jimmy's power is speaking to the people and getting the people to demand these things from those politicians. And unfortunately, those demands are not coming from the left right now. They're coming from the right. And this is like our argument I got into on Twitter. But, framing everything in this left versus right dynamic is stupid in the first place, because it's like, bro, like the whole dynamics are changing in America. That's the thing. Like, you got more conservatives that are, more anti-war than they've ever been. You can criticize their reasonings for doing it. Like Tucker gave, the traditional response there. It's not even economically beneficial for us to, be doing these things. And it's like, well, if it was economically, salient for us, would you be okay with this? That's an argument you can bring up and we can make another day. But right now, we're aligned on this. Let's talk about this. But the reason why you get a lot of leftists that don't want to talk about this is because a lot of leftists are pro-war under the guise of, rights and freedoms and, freeing gay people or whatever. I don't know what the fuck these motherfuckers believe the United States is doing in these countries. Like Marianne Williamson wanted to stay in Afghanistan so we could protect Afghani women. I still laugh every time I say that. Every time I hear that out loud. That's just fucking stupid. But yeah, so Jimmy going on there. I applaud him for doing that. I applaud Tucker Carlson for having him on. There was a couple videos people were putting on Twitter where like somebody edited the video. I want to learn how to do that editing. It's probably easy. I'm probably just like making it too hard on my brain, making it out to be a hard thing in my brain. But they had Joy Reid. They edited the clip to make it look like Jimmy was saying this stuff on Joy and Reid's show. It's fucking hilarious, bro. And people were commenting down below, I applaud Joy for having Jimmy on. You should have him on more. Blue Moon Red Wine was like, Joy, when are you gonna bring Jimmy back on? She's fucking hilarious. Yo, Lucy spits fire, bro. Lucy spits fire. I don't know if y'all saw her AOC thing where she confronted AOC. Go subscribe to Blue Moon Red Wine if you guys are not, and pay attention to the stuff she's involved in. She's doing great work over there on her channel, man. Salute to her as well. So we're gonna go ahead and move into the second video from Jimmy, though, that I I feel is like amazing as well. If I could get it up, he recently, he's been, I guess, doing the rounds. I guess I wouldn't be surprised if he's on Joe Rogan's show soon, because Kyle Kalinske was just on there. I'm gonna listen to that and see if Kyle says any fucking stupid shit. But because like I said, I try not to talk about these people because we know what's up with these motherfuckers, bro. Like I feel like it's no point in even talking about them really anymore, because we know what's up. Like if I know what's up, I'm not going to listen to these niggas. That's just how I move. You know, that's how I'm built. If I know somebody full of shit, why am I still going to listen to this nigga? Referencing the friend, man. Yeah, Garland Nixon. Yeah, Jay. That's a good point. I prefer Garland Nixon's left versus right, referencing the French. Being left simply meant you opposed the ruling power structure. Yeah, and that's why I make a specification that I lean more into Marxism, communism, socialism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I feel like those things are beyond the left. Caleb Maupin talks about that a lot. How communism isn't inherently monogamous to leftism. So he talks about that on his channel a lot. Go to his channel and watch his speeches and his lectures where he talks about Caleb is a good I'm telling you, bro, I'm like, Caleb, let me do your production, bro. I'm not saying Caleb's production's not good, but I'm saying, like, if we put some fire ass effects on Caleb's lectures, his lecture video, he has a couple of videos where he like formatted it into a video essay. I'm like, yes, do more of this, because it's entertaining to watch. And Caleb's an entertaining person already. He's the way he I like the way he speaks. It really like harkens back to like those like old like 1920s speeches people used to do, but and 60s as well. Like Caleb's an old school. An old school communist, bro. The more I read about how those old school communists was, like, Caleb really reminds me of the motherfuckers. But I'm not going. Look, man, I'm not going to shit on the man's current setup, but I'm just saying, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, why do you think motherfuckers listen to Jordan Peterson, bro? Bro, Jordan Peterson, who doesn't even know who thinks materialism is literally just having more shit. Dialectical materialism is just having more shit. So definitely go check that out. Yeah, Caleb is based. But Garland Nixon, I like the way I'm trying to find a way to reach out to Garland, because I want to have him on the Talks Talk podcast. So in case y'all didn't know, the Talks Talk is where I do like interviews, I bring people on and everything. And definitely tweet at him, tell him Bendu from American Autopsy is trying to get at him, get him on the show. But yeah, Garland Nixon as well. Definitely go check his perspectives and analysis is amazing as well. But the way he talks about left versus right and everything is really dope.